What's going on, guys? It's Eric again, back with another video. Hope everyone is good out there in YouTube land. I kind of want to talk about Jack Flaherty for the Tigers getting a contract signing with the Tigers, and then I want to talk about Myles Garrett and how he may or may not come to Detroit, depending on what depending on what he kind of wants to do. But first off, let's get to the Jack Flaherty news for the Tigers. You guys know I'm a big Tigers fan. I'm a bigger Tigers fan than I am a Detroit Lions fan. And the Tigers got Jack Flaherty for a 2-year, $35 million contract, according to the Detroit Free Press. Now, this is another arm that I thought the Tigers, I think the Tigers need pitching, okay? Even though kind of in the last video I said they have too many arms and not enough bats. I still think that's the case, but at least they're quality arms that they're getting and can hopefully keep the runs down to help get the offense, hopefully get some run support for the pitching. But this is kind of an old thing that's kind of happened even when Alex Avila was here. You'd have good pitching, but then you would never get the bats to support the pitching. And I'm sure the pitching, the bullpen was always kind of upset with the batting, with the offense, because they would give them no run support. And I kind of feel like we're kind of in that same lull again this season. Haven't seen really any big bats come. The Alex Bregman Alex Bregman saga still hasn't came to fruition yet. I don't know whether or not he's going to sign with the Tigers, or if he's going to re-sign with the Astros, or if what he's going to do yet. It still kind of remains to be seen. I don't think the Tigers have really done any big splashes in free agency other for the offense, getting another bat in here, getting better bats in here. I don't think they've done that. That kind of concerns me as a Tigers fan kind of going into this season, because I think they're banking on their group of people that they've got to hopefully turn around and make them back to the playoffs, which that's kind of you're asking a lot, I will put it that way, of the team. Now, the team hasn't really performed all that year. They only performed the last month and a half of the last season to propel them to the playoffs. I don't think that's a recipe for success, but we'll see. I'm on the kind of the end if they're not going to make the playoffs, because, well, they're a year older. Hopefully they've got a little bit of experience underneath their belt, but if it's anything like they're going to be last in the division again, they kind of have to rattle off a whole bunch of wins to make it. It's going to be another disappointing season for Tigers fans. So hopefully they get a couple of bats in here. Hopefully they sign Bregman to hopefully start that carousel of players that want to come to the Tigers organization to make this team kind of like the 2006 to 2012 year, that 6, 7, 8 year span where the Tigers were considered World Series contenders. Right now, they are not. They're considered, unfortunately, I think they're considered the bottom of the league, competing for the basement of the MLB. And that's kind of unfortunate. This team shouldn't be that way. But Illich really hasn't opened his pocketbook. We know he's going through a divorce that came through this week, too, that he's going through a divorce. They claim it's not going to be going to the organization, but come on. You have a big-time money guy putting money towards a lawyer to help fight off his divorce. That's going to impact the team. It just is. I don't see how that doesn't impact the team. What else is there for the Tigers? There really isn't a whole lot other than that Jack Flaherty signing, which, to me, it's another arm and not a bat. Not a quality bat, let's put it that way. It doesn't have to be a big name, just a quality bat. Someone who can put the ball into play. That's really what I'm after. But I think I'm kind of I'd rather be speaking to the wall back here for that. So let's kind of turn into the Myles Garrett discussion here real quick. A lot of people have been clamoring for, hey, we need Myles Garrett. I do agree we kind of need another end. A bigger name end that can make plays, but do we need a Myles Garrett? Or could we get, if we're going to be spending the collateral that we're going to get Myles Garrett, well, why don't we just go after Max Crosby at that point? He's from Eastern Michigan. He kind of has said in passing that he wants to come to Detroit. So really, I think Max Crosby is probably the better fit than Myles Garrett would be. Now, you don't want Myles Garrett going to a contender like Chicago or Minnesota or the Green Bay Packers. Because if you do that, you got to face them twice a year, and you don't want to do that. Now, the Lions could go all in and get Myles Garrett, and then try to go all in and get Max Crosby. That would be the two big defense, and give Aiden Hutchinson kind of a rotational break for that. You could do that, but then you're kind of banking on 1 or 2 seasons for this team to make the Super Bowl, and then you're right back into being back up competing for the number 1 pick overall in the draft. I don't think Detroit, that's the recipe for Detroit. I don't think that's the recipe that Brad Holmes wants to see here. So I don't know what the answer is here. A lot of people have been clamoring to say the picks don't matter. You kind of win now mode. But what happens if you don't win now? What happens if we're kind of like this season where we're only in the divisional round and we get bounced, and we put all that capital in and got nothing for it? Going to be a little bit upset for this guy. Not pounding my tables upset like I would be in my 20s or 30s, but it's kind of scratching my head thinking, why'd you invest all that capital and you get zero gain from it? Yeah, you may have gotten a division title from it, maybe, but then nothing else comes to fruition of it. And that's how I kind of fear your risk is way more than your reward would be, and you got to have the right pieces in place to do that. But you also got to say, what are Brad Holmes' core pieces? I think it's, if you have a core piece that you don't want to break up, it'd be St. Brown, Goff, Gibbs, Penei Sewell, Brian Branch, Aiden Hutchinson. Those are your core pieces there. Everyone else is expendable on that team. David Montgomery, the person you just extended, is expendable. J-Mo is expendable. Even though people probably don't like to hear that, J-Mo is expendable. If it gets a deal done, he's expendable. I don't think he's, at least right now, he doesn't look like he's totally grasped being an NFL wide receiver just yet. He may be around to that, but he's at that point to where he is not a core piece. Terry and Arnold, not a core piece. Any of the line, Jack Campbell, not a core piece. That's just my 2 cents. The 6 people that I were kind of rattled off there are a core piece. I think some of the hard choices are McNeil. I think, like I always said, Patchko can go. Patchko will be addition by subtraction. That man is, he's too injured. Get him off the team. Send him somewhere. Even if you got to take a hit in the salary cap, just get rid of him. That's my 2 cents. And then there really isn't much else to really go off of here. And like I said, anybody else is expendable except for those 6 people. St. Brown, Goff, Gibbs, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch. That's your 6 people that are expendable. Now, you would want more people on defense, but right now that's not possible. There's too many questions on the defensive side of the ball. Jack Campbell is not one of them. I don't think he's can't miss linebacker. He's expendable. But that's my 2 cents from a guy who sits here in Lansing and has a little YouTube channel. Let me know what you guys think right down in their comments, guys. I would like to know, who's your core pieces? Is it more than mine? Is it less than mine? Is J-Mo a core piece? I don't think J-Mo is a core piece. Do you do? Put it right down there in the comments. I'd like to know what your thoughts are, especially on the Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, and even on the Tigers here, where Jack Flaherty, they got another arm again. I think they need bats. Would like to know your thoughts right down there in the comments. Also, guys, make sure you hit that bell notification and hit that subscribe button so you guys get more videos just like this one. All right, guys, I'm gonna have my coffee. I'm gonna try to get rid of this throat thing I got here. This cold. I'm sure you guys can hear it through the microphone. But I'm gonna try to get better. All right, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces. Take care, guys.